Hey, what's up, everybody? This is StarMace again, and I kind of have an apology I need to make. I actually lost the original recording for the voiceover on this particular video, so the show must go on, so I'm going to kind of do a post-commentary for this one. Back in the next episode, I still have all the audio for that one, so once this episode is done, it'll be just a regular one. I might upload a couple episodes at once, but we'll see. So, where I left off on the first episode was after the introduction of the little sister. So I'm just going through the medical pavilion now. Post-commentary is harder than you'd expect, so I'm just gonna try to do my best. I remember one really interesting part about this particular segment is how heavily they used the someone is standing in the water, so you zap the water mechanic. I remember remarking that that's not something they really do much later on in the game. So, like, see here, there's a couple guys who I zap and kind of wrench them for effect. So, yeah, it's really interesting because they seem to play heavily with the mechanics they create early on in the game, but in the later episodes, like, not episodes, in the later segments, like Hephaestus in particular, and some of the ones leading up to that, they don't do that so strongly, and it's kind of just running around and shooting people. I think that's one of the weakest parts of Bioshock, is that it has this wonderful, like, just electrifying, beautiful opening, but kind of peters out near the end. I mean, the story is always fantastic, don't get me wrong, but mechanically it gets a little bit weaker. So here's this fight. I always think it's funny, the alcohol drinking segment. You just kind of get a little wobbly after you just chug 2 bottles of whiskey. So yeah, I'm just hopping around, creating a fun, very good shocking pool. I'm waiting for people to come down to the shocking pool here. Probably saying something really cool. But uh-oh. There's a friend behind me. Not a very good friend, though. She's hitting me with a wrench. That's not what friends do. So, just waiting around for the next wave to come, and so Atlas can usher me on through to medical. First level of the game, which I think is the most horror-heavy part of the game. I know Fort Frolic has the spider splicers, but it's really been weird to me because the first time I played through Bioshock, I kind of missed most of the content in Fort Frolic because I was kind of honed in on the objectives and nothing else really. So I missed a lot of the content they had in Fort Frolic, but in this playthrough, in the Remastered Edition, I'm going to try to actually see that kind of stuff. So, here we go. Andrew Ryan's introduction. I really liked this scene when I first played it, because it had just this sense of urgency and fear, because even though you could, of course, theoretically take, like, 4 thuggish splicers, it has this, like, really urgent, scary feel to it with, them slowly breaking through the glass, which you'll see in a moment here. I'm gonna still try to stay sort of quiet throughout the dialogue segments, but, you know. There I am, just shooting at Andrew Ryan for some reason, wasting my ammo. Well, ammo comes pretty in large quantities later on, so not too worried. It's really funny because there's like 3 splicers, but it's such a scary scene. There I am doing a little dance. And on to medical. First level of the game here. So, probably editing this part out, so. Edit this out, Gareth. And we're back, going on into medical. It's funny how much they build up Steinman as like this really badass, awesome villain. He's a pretty nice guy, Atlas. I bet he vapes. Bet Andrew Ryan, like, is an Uber driver. He just seems like that kind of guy, I don't know. So here we go, first hacking minigame. probably going to edit out every other hacking one, but this one goes by pretty fast. There I am, searching for the tube. Da, da, da. It's really funny how, like, they do so well with the flow of the game, like, the flow of gameplay and the rest of Bioshock, and then they have this one fucking hacking minigame, which is, like, an early iPhone game. I mean, there is an early iPhone game that's literally just this hacking minigame, and probably Flash minigames and stuff, too. So, successful hack. The vending machine successful hacks are a little useless because in Bioshock I feel like they're pretty generous with the stuff they give you. I feel like a real thing that would make hard difficulty hard was like giving ammo in more sparse quantities. And honestly they might. I really don't usually play hard difficulty in games. Definitely not games I'm playing for YouTube because I'd just be dying a lot and I don't want to load myself up with all that editing. I am whacking at that lamp. I just love object physics like this in games. It's just such an unnecessary thing, but they're like, yeah, let's just make fully realized lamps, I guess. But it does add a lot to immersion, and Bioshock, of course, is one of the most immersion-heavy games ever. Like, I knew it was special the first time I played it, even though it was one of the first serious games of its era that I played. I have a big soft spot for Bioshock, Dead Space style horror games. Dead Space is actually one of the other first games I played, which is more horror themed than Bioshock for sure. A little disappointed with where they went with the franchise. Dead Space 2 was a bit unimpressive, and then Dead Space 3 is basically just action. I got Prey on the Steam sale too, and I'm really excited to try that one out. Bethesda has really been just awesome lately with the games they make, at least. I know some of their E3 things are unpopular. I don't really have a strong opinion on that, though. Running around looting, which is, of course, quintessential Bioshock gameplay. I love how they do the audio diaries. I don't know if I mentioned that in my last episode, but like I said, the hacking minigame is just so weird to me because the rest of the stuff, like audio diaries, just doesn't interrupt the flow of gameplay at all. And like when they have big story cutscenes, it doesn't feel like a cutscene. It just feels like another part of the game. They were really smart about this is just a smart game when it comes to game design. Oh. Bad aim. Kind of waste my bullets, so sorry if y'all get frustrated with me. I'm just going through the thing here, get the minigun. Minigun. No, minigun is in Bioshock 2, and maybe Infinite, I don't remember, it's been a while. Ooh, it's time for the monkeys. Hang on, those aren't monkeys. Man. And I thought I could trust you, Atlas. I really need to get playing Burial at Sea. I got that on the Steam sale too, of course. It was part of the Bioshock collection. I remember I keep accidentally referring to it as the Bioshock Enhanced Edition because I've played the Skyrim Enhanced Edition a lot lately. But, you know, it's Bioshock Remastered, I believe. Infinite, I guess, is too new for them to remaster. Infinite was just beautiful. That was the one Bioshock game that I actually hadn't spoiled for myself. Because I remember I first started looking at... I'm pretty young guy, so... I first started looking at Bioshock stuff when I was probably too young to be looking at it. It was before I actually, like, had an Xbox of my own. And my parents used to be, like, not wanting me to play M-rated games before I was 18 and stuff. But... so what I would do is I would just look up YouTube compilations of scary moments in Bioshock and interesting plot moments. So by the time I actually got to play it, I knew the entire plot, which definitely took some of the punch out of it. Like, I would love to go back through Bioshock blind because, of course, the big twist at the end, which of course is a pretty, like, iconic moment of video game culture, is... I mean, I knew it was coming. Like, I knew the entire time, so it definitely lightened the punch a little bit. There we go. Steinman isn't really a very subtle character. Which is weird, because a lot of the bosses don't have as much build-up as Steinman, and Steinman is pretty easy. I remember this playthrough in particular, I get through him pretty fast. And there I am, running around hacking. Yeah, definitely the weakest part of the game. I'm gonna edit all these parts out. Edit this out! Okay, successful hack. So now I'm just gonna run around, find the other boy. Which is really unnecessary, because I'm playing on medium, and honestly, Bioshock is not the hardest game in the world. I mean, on medium, it's pretty manageable for anyone who's got some gaming experience. Would probably have been more interesting if I played it on hard, but like I said, I don't want to be dying every second and having to edit more than just the hacking segments out. Yeah, so I got that hacked for really just no reason except preparedness. I'm kind of a stickler about that. So, just running around looting. And I'm jumping. Don't know what I was fucking around with there. I'm sure my original commentary was just the most gripping, but that's a unfortunate loss. Man, the splicers are really effective enemies. Like, I'm sure that's not the most hot take in the world, but just their voices, like, even though there's only like a few unique voiced splicers, like, you know what I mean, like, there's a few certain splicer models and they all have the same lines, but they're just really creepy, and they range from, like, really, like, detestable in their original lives, like Toasty, the business guy, and then just, like, really just heartbreaking, like Pigskin, the athlete who had to start splicing to be a better athlete. So yeah. And of course they have themes like Medical Pavilion, they have a lot of Dr. Grossman's. And of course guided throughout the game. I don't know. Of course, I'm a big fan of this game. It's just very effective in every way. Ooh, yeah. Time to hack a security camera for no reason. I don't know why I was so wild about hacking. Just kind of making my later work harder. Alright. Alright, and then I got it. Got a very good achievement. Filling up that Steam. Which is what I'm playing on. Of course, Steam. Filling up that Steam sounds a little weird off context, so, you know. Alright, yeah, almost time for the Incinerate Plasmid. I love the Incinerate Plasmid. Just, like, it's just so cool to me, like, and a lot of video games, of course, like, for example, the Electro Boat, you just, like, extend your hand and Sith Lightning them, but with the Incinerate Plasmid, you snap your fingers, and that's a really creative way to do it. I don't remember what it was like in Bioshock 2, I think it was also finger snap. Which is weird, because he had those big old Big Daddy gloves on. I think just the only bad thing about Bioshock 2 is that it had to follow Bioshock 1, because that's a hell of an act to follow, and Infinite really did good, like, not setting itself in Rapture. Kind of walled. So yeah, Bioshock 2 kind of walled itself in, trying to follow up such an iconic game. So yeah, got Incinerate. I don't need to watch these. I'm sorry if y'all wanted to watch that. I might, depending on what feedback I get, I might spend more time on the story segments. So yeah, I light all of them on fire, and I think this is where I'm going to call it quits. Yeah. So, thank you all for watching. Again, I'm so sorry that I lost the original audio for this. Next Bioshock episode, I'm for sure going to have the actual audio I did. So, thank you for being patient with me. Remember to like and subscribe if you like this video or if you like my other Bioshock video. Check in the description for my friend's Bandcamp. He does all the music for this channel. And leave a comment on how I could do better, just better commentary. So, thank you very much. Again, I'm sorry. This has been Starmace, signing off.